I've recently had a bit of an obsession with speed pads. Today we're taking a look at possibly the fastest cloth pad on the market. This is the QCK Performance Speed from SteelSeries. Honestly, I didn't have a clue that this pad existed until one of my viewers said it was the fastest pad they ever used. That did pique my interest, and I did want to know what made it so fast and how it performed in game. Right off the bat, this is a mid to soft textured pad with a nylon surface which feels really nice and smooth. With a lot of pads you can often feel the stitching on the surface, but not with this one. The base is pretty solid, made of a non-slip neoprene rubber compound which basically keeps it stuck to the desk at all times, which is really nice. Both axes are pretty consistent with a slightly faster feeling horizontally, which obviously may be due to the direction of the stitching. The mid/soft surface really complements and adds to the speed of the pad. There isn't any plushiness and it's pretty smooth and consistent regardless of how I hold my mouse. Ultimately, this pad is designed for low static and low dynamic friction. When I first start moving my mouse from a standstill, it requires very little force to get it going. It feels like there's little to no stickiness or any resistance. In terms of dimensions, they come in at two sizes, a large at 490 by 420 and an extra large which is desk wired at 900 by 400. Both are only 3.5mm in thickness, which is pretty impressive compared to other speed pads like my Jinsoku, which only comes in at 3.9mm, which is also pretty impressive. It's not really a typical soft pad or hard plastic one, it sits somewhere in between. The stitching is very close knit as you can see, and it's pretty uniform, which minimizes friction for faster, more effortless glides. It also features a flat stitched edge, creating a seam that is pretty low to the surface, and essentially it's a super functional border which keeps the pad together without getting in your way. I am still trying to adapt to speed pads coming mainly from control pads, like the Last Stand from Tenta-X or the CMO2 from Attack Shark. But in Kovacs, it feels really fast. Because of the static friction, moving from target to target from dead stop is incredibly fast. I'm expecting there to be a bit of friction and then there just isn't any. In game it feels even crazier. Without feeling slippery, aiming is just crazy fast. It feels like I'm able to get to my next target without thinking about my wrist movement. Again, there's basically no resistance fighting me. It will take some getting used to, but tracking and micro adjusting is pretty tough. Because it's built for more speed and control, I do find my aim to be a bit less accurate. But the good thing is, because it takes little to no force to get the mouse moving again, switching grip to fingertip for mini adjustments feels fine. When comparing the speeds to the Jinsoku speed pad, we can see that it's ever so slightly faster. But comparing it to a control pad, it clearly shows its speed. Just to touch back on the thickness, here I compare it to my Warhack pad, which sits at 4mm compared to its 3.5. But the stitching's so low profile, it looks much more thinner than it is. And here, even though my Jinsoku is only 0.04mm thicker, again the stitching makes it look super thin. Now between my two speed pads, they both feel crazy fast but have really different surfaces. The Jinsoku is an extra soft pad which has that slight plushiness, while remaining really low in friction and has that thin fabric top, while the SteelSeries is really tightly woven and has that synthetic coating on top. Both in my opinion have really extreme speed and that icy feeling in game. Neither budge when it comes to their base. Ultimately, in my opinion, for pure speed and performance, definitely go with the SteelSeries. Both dot skates and conventional ones felt really smooth and consistent, and I'd even say if you don't really like glass pads, this will be a really good cop.